Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Season 12 of Style Esports. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and here we are, getting ready to get into picks and bans of our match for this evening. TP Black up against Mythic Rising. We got some folks in gold and plat for you this evening. Sure to be a good game. We got two names that you are all pretty familiar with if you're in Style Esports. Mythic, big team with a bunch of sister teams run by Papa Puss, of course, and on the other side, TP Black. That pressure has been in Style Esports for so many seasons. So love to see so many folks ready to duke it out on the Rift tonight. We are just getting some stuff ironed out as it stands. It's been an interesting past 20 minutes trying to get this game started.
I want to scream, dude. I want to scream so much. Holy moly. We are making a third draft law after we went back to the first one when the second one didn't work. I want to cry.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get this almost underway for you just in a little bit. We should get this soon. But I think you already got a little bit from my co-caster there, but I think we should do a more formal introduction. Thousand, are you ready for the game this evening?
I don't know if I am anymore. I may just want to end the stream now. Okay, we are into the draft. 30 minutes later. I told these teams that I was going to flame them on stream over this because the fact that we cannot manage to get a draft going concerns me for the level of play that we are going to see today.
Yeah.
It is very scary when we get into a draft 20 minutes late and we are still trying to figure out how the drafting system works. But I mean, so out the gate here, we're seeing the Yone ban. That one, not surprising. That is a bogus special. Do not want that one through. I'm expecting a Mordekaiser band as well. There it is. So these are mostly pocket picks and one tricks that we are taking away from each team.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to see a whole lot of one trick bans just because there are so many folks with over 100 games on their top champion, and then they have like 30 on like the next 20. There's like one that's close. It has like 60. Yeah, Senna's taken off the table here. That's another one trick that Mythic is sporting as well.
His Maniac.
Yeah, another thing to notice, Shaco is still on the board as well, which is another champion that Mythic could run here if they wanted to. So we'll have to see if that gets popped up. But Riven is also on the table as well. That's going to be the character for Wolfie. Maybe we'll see that jungle, but you know, it's 298 games on Riven, 16 on Hecarim. Like,
yeah. I mean, that makes some sense there. And then obviously we will see the Diana picked up here immediately. Diana has been a really strong power pick for a while. We saw it yesterday versus Mythic Rising, and they did not, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yep. Yeah, against Mythic Rising, and they just really struggled with this. We do see the Sejuani. I'm not going to state exactly what the plan may be here, but we have seen Mythic Rising go for the early Sejuani before. I am not a fan of it, but Mythic do generally have a plan around it, so I don't want to give anything away in case people are, well, they're not supposed to be, but if they are listening to the stream, I do not want to give away any ideas just yet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Sejuani, like you said, is definitely a very, very strong champion. Does get countered pretty easily, but usually it's countered by the Trundle. So if you lock in the Trundle here, it kind of forces the Trundle to be in the top lane, forces the Trundle to be in a lane. So it means that like the Sejuani might not be seeing the Trundle in the early game as much because Sejuani is traditionally a jungler. So
no, not now. She is mainly a top laner currently.
Oh. Well, traditionally a jungler, right now a top laner.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're both right. Look at that.
We're both right, but I could tell you that most of the time I've seen it picked, even in lower elos, it is top lane Sejuani currently jungle Sejuani is we got hard counterpicked and we need to switch it. So that is what that is. TP Black going for a nice aggressive lane that we don't see too much of, but I think is pretty strong in the Tristana and Nami. It works very similar to the Lucian Nami, where you have that bonus damage that you can stack really easily. The biggest difference being that I think Tristana has a little bit more sticking power than something like the Lucian against Ezreal specifically, because that dash from Ezreal is a pretty decent distance that Lucian can't keep up with. Tristana's jump is a good bit longer, and if she pops the bomb, she gets a second jump, so there's a lot of distance that she can cover to chase people down.
Yeah, not to mention that in addition to kind of Tristana's kind of natural stickiness, Nami's Tidecaller Blessing is going to give them just that little bit more stickiness that they need in order to get off those 3. Like if they're running Hail of Blades, right, to get that Hail of Blades trigger, right, it's going to be very, very good for this Tristana in this lane here. And, you know, there could be an angle where Nami looks to get the electrocute here, like you said, is kind of similar to that Lucian lane, although Aerie just might be a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, I think honestly, I could see either. The electrocute would be good because you do want to try and get that burst damage to not allow Yuumi to just heal up. Because getting that sometimes that extra electrocute damage can be so strong that Yuumi's or any support is not ready for the heal on that. But that is kind of just up in the air as a possibility. We are in the second phase of bans. Veigar, a pretty strong pick that I think has fallen off for I don't even know reasons. Like, Veigar was picked pretty predominantly for a while, and then people just kind of stopped picking him. And
yeah.
I don't know exactly why. I still think he's really good. People just kind of have been avoiding picking him, but that is going to be banned this time around alongside the Viego from Wolfie. But the Silas and the Malphite being taken away from TP Black. So taking away that ability to match the Sejuani with another really heavy tank and maybe forcing them to go for something like that Trundle.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see why they just didn't value the Riven ban here. I mean, usually like we say, especially with gold and platinum as well, comfort is king. You know, if you're able to get a champion that you are comfortable on, that you have played a billion games on, it's probably better than whatever champion is meta right now, right? If you just only have a few games on, like, say, you know, like Hecarim or Udyr even, and they're the meta champions, but you have 300 games on Jungle Riven, you're probably going to do better on Jungle Riven than you are on Udyr and Hecarim. Now, granted, bad examples because both those champions are easy to execute, but I think my point still gets across.
There's also the fact that there is a level of we don't know how to play against this when you are picking something up. You know, when you pick something up that is not meta, people have to relearn how to play against this champ maybe in a different role than what they're used to. That's why stuff like those ranged tops can work, because tank top laners and bruisers may not be used to having to play against somebody that can kite them out so hard. Ornn is going to be the pickup for TP Black, so they're not opting into that Trundle. So I can now talk about what Mythic Rising did do last time. Last time, they did end up getting the Trundle picked against them. So what they did is they moved the Sejuani into the jungle. Trundle was forced to go top because the jungler that was picked was only a jungler. And then Trundle basically was not really interacting with Sejuani anywhere near as much. This time around, they don't have the Trundle, they keep the Sejuani top, and they take the Wukong for the jungle, which is weird to see Wukong as a final pick, but I think it makes sense considering how they want to utilize this Sejuani in terms of the draft.
Yeah, and not to mention that this Wukong is going to be able to enable Vex and Ezreal to kind of free fire their abilities, as well as giving another AoE CC ability for Vex to really go ham if she gets able to dive onto this Nami and Tristana on the back line here. I'm loving both of these teams a whole lot because both of them are just really heavy 5v5 fighters back and forth. Like, these are some pretty standard League of Legends comps right here, and this is going to be a bloodbath around a lot of these neutral objectives.
Absolutely. We apparently got really different sized icons for these teams because they look very funky on the stream right now. I apologize. I just kind of ran with what I was given.
Yeah.
I can't tell what the stream looks like until I go to the scene. A
Yep.
little bit behind the scenes for people. We run the whole stream off a bot, and I don't see things until they are on the stream themselves. So I don't know how things work. The bot is very helpful because I don't have to run OBS on my machine. Anybody can run it, but it does lead to some awkward situations like this. Regardless, now, as we do see picks going into their supposed spots, I don't think anybody's shifting lanes. Everything's pretty much locked into where you would expect. Oh, wait, hang on.
Hang on.
Hang on. We have a monkey in the top lane. So, okay.
Uh-oh.
So, I was
You
curious about this.
You have shown me monkey.
Yeah, I've shown you monkey. Shinkari very familiar with the monkey, and
Monkey.
I stay with me, buddy. Come on.
I'm trying. Oh no, it's coming back, monkey.
So I was curious about this actually.
Okay.
I don't know if it is Monster plays the Sejuani top lane or if Wolfie just likes the Sejuani jungle currently. It is possible that they are just taking the Sejuani because it is a good pick. They think it's good in the jungle as well, and they're just going to run that. And that it is really never a top lane Sejuani pick. And they so I don't entirely know for certain. But I was expecting the Wukong in the jungle and the Sejuani top. That's generally what you see now. But it might just be alongside that comfort pick style that we talked about of Monster's more comfortable on these bruiser style champions in that top lane, and then Wolfie just wants to play those tanks. We obviously saw the Sejuani from Wolfie before, and it did pretty solid.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is really. I mean, once again, like, just because Wolfie only plays Riven doesn't mean that like some of these easy to execute champions are suddenly just like, oh, you know, running around with a chicken with his head cut off, right? Like, I still think that you'll be able to transfer a lot of skills from Riven to Sejuani here, especially being able to know like when to engage and how to land up your CC and things like that. So, you know, I'm a little surprised that Wolfie decided to lock in the Sejuani, or even like think about the idea of playing the Wukong as well and not just locking in the Riven even though it was wide open.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through Wolfie's match history right now. I'm actually seeing the Riven only top lane. So I think we got baited on that. I don't think it is a Riven jungle. I think Wolfie just plays top lane mostly in ranked, and they just play jungle with this team. So I think we got pretty hard baited on that one. But I think in that case, it does make a lot of sense to have the Sejuani on, you know, have Sejuani be the pickup, because Sejuani is a very easy to execute jungler and will always kind of do her job. It's a little hard to completely mess it up. The hardest thing is the ultimate, really. Otherwise, you're just a frontliner. And right now, you've got a really strong mid-game spiking team with the Wukong, Sedge, Vex, Ezreal. All of these champs, while Ezreal does have a pretty solid late game as well, it's a really hard spiking mid-game. Because you get either the Essence Reaver or your Mythic, and then the Muramana. That's a lot of damage off of 2 items, and Ezreal becomes a god at that point. Sejuani hits that mid-game spike where she has her Mythic, and she's able to frontline. Wukong is obviously so very good in team fights with that double Cyclone, and Yuumi is Yuumi. This is a team that when we hit those objectives, when we hit that like second and third dragon, they are going to be on all cylinders and going full speed, and it's going to be up to the other side on TP Black to be able to catch that and be able to make picks off of that, because that's what their team's going to do better. Ari can charm, get deep into that enemy lines, come from over walls, come from different directions. Diana also will probably want to try and flank, and then Tristana, Ornn, gonna be in that back line, Ornn running that front line a little bit and trying to get the damage out in a more front to back fashion.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you lock in Ornn, you kind of like lock yourself into team fighting as well, and you also lock yourself into just going later game as well. You were talking about how Mythic Rising is going to spike in the mid game, but it really TP Black is going to have to play for the later game in order to really maximize the amount of stats and damage that they're going to be doing here, which might not be the most ideal. But if you're playing around Tristana and Ornn, it's just going to have to end. It's just going to end up that way. So
Mhm.
we'll have to see if TP Black is able to kind of stem the bleeding in this mid game spike and make it towards that end game when they start getting those ornaments online, when they start getting that Tristana into an incredibly long range champion, when they start getting this Ari just to being able to dash around the game back and forth over and over again. But we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the Rift of game number 1 of TP Black versus Mythic Rising. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and now here we are on the Rift of game number 1 of TP Black versus Mythic Rising. TP Black is on the blue side. Mythic Rising is on the red, and we're ready to get this game underway. We got a 5-point start across the river. We're ready to get things underway. 1,000. How excited are you for this game one?
I am moderately excited.
Moderately.
Yeah, look,
Moderately.
look. I have I have been hurt by the amount of time that it took to get into this game. So my excitement has dimmed slightly. But
Yeah.
I know chat has been popping off
Yeah.
for Count Dooku specifically. A lot of Count Dooku Doku.
Yeah.
Du- I look.
Doku. It's
It's
Count
too
Doku.
close to Dooku.
Yeah,
All
yeah, I
right.
know. Yeah.
You
Hold
can
on.
forgive me while I'm learning it, all right? I don't
Yeah.
cast the same players very often.
Man, I like to think that somewhere along the line we'll be able to find at least one Count Dooku joke to make in here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I could say
Yeah.
that the amount of players that I go through in terms of casting spins faster than Count Dooku's head after it got chopped off.
Hey, good one. Hey. Oh man,
Hey.
you already made it. So now I wanted to save it for when he maybe dove too
Yeah.
deep. I want to say he should have quit while he was ahead.
I'm sorry, I completely ruined your.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's not like I'm the joke guy. It's okay.
I'm being told that Doku actually based his name on Goku, which is
Okay.
that's concerning that you wouldn't see the comparison. But regardless, we are underway here, and right now already at the gate, seeing Perry do really well in this top lane against LOS Monster. That's concerning. So Wukong will eventually hit a point where he will do a good bit of damage to Ornn. There is a middle area of the game where Wukong's going to have that maxed Q, which is going to increase the armor pen from it, and Ornn is not going to have that armor built up just yet. So there's going to be a lot of armor shredded on a tank that has not gotten tanky yet. But right now, looks like Ornn has control of this lane and will continue to do so. The only thing that you got to keep in mind is that Sejuani early ganks are going to be stronger than anything Diana will be able to do.
Yeah, and it's just it's this is exactly when Ornn needs to be able to kind of pressure Wukong, right? If you get Wukong down to these HP totals, then him going in and trying to shred your armor and 1v1 you is just going to be a lot tougher to do here. But this is the punish we were talking about. Wolfie coming in from the side here, looking for parry, but not going to be able to find it this time. Diana, Squizzy coming in from the side as well.
Oh, no.
Going to maybe head them off before they can get in the try. Going to be able to get the dash. Wolfie flashes over the wall. And you take that every day of the week.
Yeah, that's exactly how Diana can run these counter ganks. That is not actually going for the gank, but catching the Sejuani on the way out. Sejuani is set up. She is not going to do a lot of damage. She's not going to outduel a Diana at this point in the game. So it is all about Diana showing up and getting onto that Sejuani herself in a position where laners are going to be less likely to get involved.
Yeah, like this is, at this stage, like, Diana just doing her best to take away resources from Sejuani is probably the best thing that she can do. Like, I think Diana clears like pretty quickly.
Yes.
And if she finds a a camp on the enemy side that's like pretty easy to take down, then you have to take that every day of the week. Because once again, like you said, Sejuani, once she's got like even one item under her belt, it seems like she's almost unkillable. If you're
she gets very hard to beat very quickly, and she just gets really difficult in team fights because she will frontline so hard. The biggest thing though with the Diana is she will duel better, she will clear faster because of the attack speed and just how much AoE she has in her abilities.
Yeah, for sure. Is now LOS Monster gets that Conqueror proc here. Might look to continue fighting your carry heat. Oh yeah, they're gonna do the dash trade there. Flash clap, gonna be able to force LOS Monster here to back away. That looks like a pretty good trade if you ask me. Flash for flash in the top lane is charmed up down here. Wolfie in some trouble. That's gonna be jumping forward from Count Dooku. Gets
have another jump.
On the jump. Let's see. There we go. Goes forward. Throws out the ignite. First blood for Count Dooku down to the bot lane.
And there is, I think, why we don't see a lot of Sejuani in the jungle. She is very weak early on. If you find her alone, she will struggle. If you put her in the top lane, well, and parry.
And he lives to tell the tale too. 2 kills pretty early on is looking pretty good for that pressure TP Black here. And now they're going to pick up a Drake as well. This is a pretty good lead to start off at. 1.2k golden lead and an Ocean Drake. This is looking pretty good for a team that wants to go a little later than the mid-game spike team.
Yeah, I mean, these are both really hard mid-game spiking teams. I think the late game is going to be a little bit stronger as Squizzy now in that bot side, but that's an Ezreal and a Yumi. You're not really going to accomplish a whole lot on these ganks.
Yep.
But yeah, like with the power of that early clear Diana and with the power of the Tristana there, that really did a lot of work. The charm obviously set up a lot as well, but the fact that Doku was able to jump in, keep jumping in, stay on Wolfie as he ran away meant that they got the first blood off of that, and that led to the dragon. And really, it seems like maybe the Diana is the kryptonite to Mythic, because this is now the second game where we've seen this Diana have such a strong impact in the early game to the point where Mythic just don't really seem to have an answer for it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. It's almost a little sad when you have like just one champion that kind of has your number. For me, it's Fizz. Don't worry. That champion has been in the game since I started playing, and I still don't know how to play against him. But you know what? I mean, it's fine.
At this point, it seems like Diana has multiple numbers. Diana is kind of getting around right now because she has 5 numbers, and they are all on Mythic Rising right now.
Yeah, she's got Sejuani's number. She's got Leona's number. She might have Caitlyn's number. Not sure. Right here, Ornhorn comes down a little too far out here. Not going to land the knockup, but does still keep them in position to get a good knockup here. Going to look for a little bit more. Vex ultimate come right in. Bogus looking for the kill, and Z going to be able to find it here as Perry Yeet is now going to be the one in the target here. Yes, both these HP bars are just going to take too long to take down, so that's going to be a 2-0 up in the top lane here. Squizzy tried to make his way up into the top lane, but could not quite find it. So it looks like that's going to be able to put Mythic onto the scoreboard here.
And I like the fact that the kill specifically went on to the Vex there. The roam up, Bogus got the ulti, followed up, good fear, and won the fight from that point on. But I like that the Vex gets these kills specifically because Vex will have a bigger impact on the map, and her engage potential, her ability to start off fights on the right foot is so very good. Sejuani, yeah, okay, she'll get tanky, but you need the damage in these fights, and Vex will be able to engage, set up for the rest of the team, and do a bunch of damage all at the same time. The other option was to give it to Wukong. Wukong's not leaving top anytime soon.
Yeah, Royalty here going to take a bunch of damage. So it would have taken a lot more had Yumi not gone back to Tether, but once again, Royalty just not having the greatest of times in this lane, forced to be underneath turret. Still being able to still out CS Count Doku here, but still a little bit behind in CS because they didn't have that first blood.
I do want to give a lot of credit here, just looking at the map. So much warding was being done there. Everybody's getting control wards for Mythic. You see one control ward over near the blue buff for Mythic, Mythic put that red ward or control ward down near the enemy blue buff. And then you also have one in their top tri brush. There was one in the river as well. There's one right where Royalty is right now. Everybody is getting control wards. There's good defensive vision being set up, but maybe not neutral vision where they need to be aware of where this RE is.
Yeah, for sure. This is Perry might be in some trouble up here. LOS Monster looking for a fight here. They both have their ultimates available.
No, they
don't have their ultimates available. Never mind.
Neither one of them.
Yeah. You know what it was? I don't remember Wukong using his ultimate there, and it looked like Perry almost had his ultimate up cooldown. So that's not bad.
Nah, it's fine. I just like to tell when you're wrong. That's all.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
One of my favorite bits with Shinkari, the caster, is to be like, hey, wow, look at Shinkari being wrong, everybody.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's totally not something Tessa does all the time. Thousand Eyes does all the time.
You can say Tessa. We've known each other.
Okay,
we're friends.
Cool.
We're close.
Cool.
We're cool.
Yeah, we're cool. Okay. Royalty here, going to take a tower dive, going to flash away from the bubble. Grazy coming underneath the turret. Squizzy's going to be the one picking up the kill. That's going to be the tidal wave. Going to CC up Yumi for just a little bit longer.
Done.
That adds good to a good home in hell. They're going to be able to pick 2 kills up for nothing down that bot lane and start to prep for this Drake that's coming up.
Yeah, I was going to say that's really heads up play from TP Black as a team to not only make a dive 4v2 that worked out really well for themselves, but do it just as the dragon is going to spawn. Trying to dive somebody like Ezreal Yumi is really difficult usually. They played it really well. They traded off the aggro perfectly, and then they did it exactly as the dragon was spawning. After they had already gotten the first dragon, they're setting up a win condition for themselves, and they're doing it extremely well with the opportunities that they have created for themselves.
Yeah, this is why I love casting gold games like this, because sometimes the gold players will really astound you with like some of their like heads up plays with stuff like this. Like that was a really well coordinated dive. That was a really well orchestrated, like timed dive as well.
Yes.
Like, hey, we got a dive. We didn't just get the kill on the bot lane. We also set ourselves up for a neutral objective as well. And if you take a look at the map, Sejuani was like, okay, good, heads up. They're getting dove down there. I'm in this top half of the map. Let's just grab this easy
This easy dragon afterwards.
Yeah, let's grab this easy Rift Herald up on the top top half of the map. Right? That's really, really good play.
The other thing too is that it brings up such a dichotomy between even gold level competitive and diamond level solo queue. Like obviously the diamond, is a I would argue there's still better players, but we got a fight coming.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be the Wukong ultimate coming across, and Sejuani as well. It's a 3v2 up in the top lane, but LOS Monster is still incredibly low. The Ornhorn's going to come across, and Squizzy's got nowhere to go. It's going to be another double kill up in the top lane, 4-0 for the Vex.
Oof.
This is looking like a really nasty Yordle coming through here.
Yeah, Vex always in the right spot, and how she could just get around the map so very quickly with that ultimate. This is looking really good from Bogus. I do want to continue on my point. Nope, I may. No, okay, Gray's fault.
Yeah, Gray might be in some trouble. Might try to turn it around. Let's see. Just trying to get some poke damage back and forth.
No, I think he's fine.
Looking for something using the last dash. All right.
No, we're good.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So I did want to kind of get this point of just the fact that like diamond level players probably are better from an individual standpoint, but there is a huge difference between gold level competitive play and how organized that can be versus diamond level solo queue. The level of coordination that we are seeing from these teams is not things that you would even see in diamond level solo queue. It's things that have been practiced. It's things that have been worked on and coordinated together to make sure like, hey, we're getting these objectives because we are communicating. We know how each other plays and what we want to play towards as a team. So this is really well done by TP Black. The biggest issue is that they are sometimes going for plays without full knowledge of where their enemies are, and that is where Mythic Rising are picking up those kills. That's twice now that we have seen a top lane gank go completely wrong because of the fact that Sejuani and Vex were around.
Yeah, and it's really important that Mythic Rising makes some sort of lead somewhere, and this is a good place to do it in this top lane. Wukong is a very high chance of carrying in the mid game here, so by getting him ahead is really, really good here. Still down in CS, but 0, 1, and 4 is still pretty good, and getting kills onto Vex, insane at this stage of the game. But
Harry,
now,
what are you doing,
Harry
buddy?
once again in some trouble, stuck between a rock and a hard place, forced to go past the turret because he couldn't go through Wukong. Man, this is, I mean, it was just a matter of when, not if, when it came to that play right there.
But this is exactly kind of what I talked about too. Ooh, are we taking this one? We're taking this one?
Yeah, now we're doing it. All right, that's going to be the fear right there. Crazy taking incredibly low, but Squizzy is going to be the next to fall there. The shield not going to be able to save them this time, but it does give the opportunity for the blue team to pick up the first turret down in the bottom half of the map.
This is such a good example of why I wanted the Vex to get that early kill, because she has been top so many times. She then comes back mid. She's making an impact across the entire map in ways that Sejuani really wouldn't be able to, even with that amount of gold. She is doing so much damage, and her showing up in all of these spots, which she is very capable of doing, allows her to do things like that.
Yeah, like that. Yes, now Count Dooku might be in some trouble here. Wolfie waiting in the bush. Here comes Bobbles in from the side. Ezreal ultimate coming across. Going to go a little wide here, but that's going to be a good bubble. But now they have to deal with 3 versus 2. Wolfie over the wall. Bogus is going to join the fight as well. One. Let's see if they can find the other. Dooku might be able to find something here. Wolfie still looking for it. Going to be able to find the double in their favor. Sejuani comes out, putting themselves on the scoreboard 3, 1, and 4.
Yeah, and that one is just 30 seconds before Dragon. Yeah, that bot lane tower is down, but the mid lane tower did go in favor of Vex, so they do have that opportunity to move through the map safely and get into that Dragon area. Tristana gonna spawn just in 4 seconds here. Not gonna have time to get to that Dragon immediately. I really want to see, and I like that Monster's already down here, I want to see that control given. I don't like the Ezreal back right now. I know that you have the Triforce ready, but you need to be there for the Dragon because there is going to be a fight over this.
Yeah, right now, Baubles just does not know, but LOS Monster is waiting for them over the wall here. They're going to spot out the Wukong here, if only for a moment. Going to be able to find a charm on the Wolfie. But yeah, this is exactly where we want to be. And luckily for Mythic here, the fight was able to be delayed long enough that Ezreal is finally here, but so is the rest of the team. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Everyone is here. Let's see if they're still going to fight over this Drake. This is the first Hextech Soul Drake of the map.
It's important to note that everybody but Yuumi has a Mythic for Mythic Rising here. Fight starting.
That's going to be the Ornhorn coming across. We already threw out the Sejuani as well. Good. Starfall going to be able to find two. Let's see if they can find just a little bit more. Tristana with the triple kill here. Does have the jump available. Let's see. Goes over the wall looking for royalty here. This could be the pentakill already early on. Ari's going to take it away from them, but that doesn't matter. Mythic has fallen one after another. Double kill. The good old triple double. And TP Black finds themselves a Yahtzee full house at 17 minutes into the game, and a Drake as well.
Yeah, and that puts them on the soul point there. It was a little bit scary, but the engage went onto the Diana, who had just enough time to get that Moonfall down, got damage onto really key members there, and finally they were able to make a win happen off of some of the damage of Doku and some of the damage of Grey Z. Squizzy, obviously that burst damage did a lot as well. And that will be soul point picked up for TP Black. Their objective control has done them wonders to stay in this game where some of their skirmishing and ganks have not been able to do the same. And now we see them taking a Rift Herald off of that as well, keeping the pressure on, and that will get them back into this game from an objective standpoint. They'll be able to take down some of these towers and get the gold that has been standing a little bit, that we have seen a little bit more in favor, I think, of Mythic Rising for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, for sure. This is really looking like a great game for TP Black here. They're doing that. When I was already worried that Mythic was going to be able to turn this around. Vex is so fed right now. 5-1-3, most CS in the game. Guess most CS, more CS than the entire enemy team. This was looking like a slam dunk. And then it just seemed like the team fight just kind of fell apart after Sejuani didn't land the ultimate. And then, there was a great Diana ultimate as well.
Here's the big thing. The fact that this was a full-on 5v5 meant that Vex, their entire team right now, did not have a flank opportunity. They were just full 5v5ing. Vex wants to come in from weird angles and go from there. Now...
yeah, that's going to be at least the angle that they're looking for here. It's a 2v5 angle. They're going to be the one picking up 2 kills up of the top lane to punish these folks for taking the top lane turret. They're going to pick up the kill onto Shelly as well. Maybe get some more damage onto these top lane turrets.
Yeah, so it is a trade. They do get a tower in the process, but they do lose the Ornn and the Diana. So gold, I think, still goes in favor of Mythic for that one. It does open up the map a lot. All outer towers down for Mythic, meaning that they have to prioritize some more defensive vision in order to move forward in the map here. You can see them clearing out some wards right now. Without the protection of those towers, it becomes a little bit more dangerous now to walk into your jungle, thanks to the fact that we have so many really mobile champions. The Tristana, the Ahri, the Diana, these all have dashes that can come at you from a lot of different angles. So they have to be aware of where they're walking and make sure they're not walking into a group of people that will ruin their day.
Yeah, for sure. They really got to make sure. They have to be careful here because, you'll get situations like that where Count Dooku is no longer that kind of, hey, this Tristana is going even with the Ezreal here. Now, Count Dooku is huge. 6-1-3, 172. Like, Tristana is no longer, you can no longer mess with this champion, and they're taking this opportunity. They're going for Baron.
Yeah, with the big engage tool down on the Cyclone, they will be able to push this there. They do have Wolfie who could get over the wall pretty easily. Has Flash, has Q. They've just got to get vision on it.
Okay, they throw out the Sejuani ultimate. You have to be careful. These HP bars are low. This Baron gets stolen here. Squizzy goes down. The rest of the team go over the wall. Count Dooku knocked them away, but does have the jump reset. Goes over the walls now, looking for a little bit more. Bogus is going to be the one finding the kill. Grazy flashes forward, going to be able to pick up a kill there. It's 3 for 3. It's an even fight, but they lost Baron.
They lost Barrett at the end of it. Wolfie with the smite of a lifetime there to pick that one up, and will be the victor in terms of that. Now Monster back here looking for this Ahri. Gray's just spotted out. Okay,
yeah,
goodbye.
Oh yeah, you hate to see it. That is devastating. It was a pretty decent call, right? Like Wukong is very good into those pits. It's very good, and once they were down another man, like this is like really good. A very good chance for them to go in and grab this Baron. You know, it's just tough when you have when the jungler is still available, right? There's still that 50-50, and you know, yeah, sometimes you don't want to risk it like that. But you know, I don't mind the call. You know, it was aggressive, it was proactive. They took advantage of their numbers advantage.
Yeah, I think also part of what made that a little bit more even than it should have been was the Tristana ult a little bit early there, trying to, I think, maybe just get them out of the pit before the Baron, or just trying to finish somebody off and then pushing an entire team out of the pit. That meant that the fight moved out, and it was only the Ahri and the Tristana that could keep going. What a fear!
Oh yeah, Squizzy goes down here, and now Parayeet is going to be caught out and might be the next to fall here. Double kill coming through for the Ezreal. This is, you know, this is what we were talking about. You know, these Mythic was having a hard time in kind of like these fights here, but now they've hit their stride. They've hit their very powerful items here, and now Royalty is doing so much damage in these fights.
Yep.
And these fears have been on point with the Vex as well. Now they're just, now they've full swung in their favor. Take a look at the gold. 4,000 in their favor right now.
I mean, I think it's also like, yeah, Ezreal and Vex are at one of their strongest points in the entire game with those 2-item power spikes right now. And that is also because they are ahead. So they are not only just naturally strong, but they are unnaturally strong because of the fact that they are ahead of the enemy team right now. And it's just going to get harder. These Vex Spheres have been incredible to win fights. It's starting off the fight on such a good note. That means that the rest of, like, it's not just the fears, but the amount of damage that comes with it. And then you've got Ezreal and the Wukong to follow that up. They are doing more than enough damage to confirm the rest of that fight. It's so hard to come back from it when you really aren't able, like, your whole team's taking damage. Ornn is not really soaking up this damage. It's going through everybody, and you have Ahri, Tristana, Diana starting off a fight at half health. It's hard to win fights when you're already half health at the beginning of them.
Yeah, so now when we're looking for these fights now, I feel like it's at the point where Mythic kind of needs to stall out here and just give Parayeet enough time in order to find the start level 13, start of the Forge Fire Crest. Right, there's still more items that kind of need to be filled out here, especially when we start to see, you know, the ornaments for sure. Like, these ornaments will be able to catapult the gold lead from TP Black from Mythic to TP Black just by existing. But Parayeet having some trouble just existing in these lanes. Monster looking for a little bit more here. Parayeet still taking so much damage, but here comes Count Dooku here. OOS
Cyclone's ready.
Into the bridge. Oh yeah, that's gonna be explode the bomb here. They're gonna be able to pick up that kill 4v1 in the bot lane, but take a look at the rest of the map. They're losing a whole lot here. Gray Z is also in some trouble as Wolfie coming along the wall here, looking for the Ahri. Chase Fluffy Tail gonna throw out the slow, the charm there. Parayeet looking to fight Vex up here, taking a whole lot of damage, but I don't quite think he can 1v1 just yet.
Yeah, Bogus split pushing here basically just Nobody can stop this Vex. She's so strong. And then you're also losing out in fights on the other side of the map. I feel like there needs to just be a regroup here from the side of TP Black, because right now they are splitting up in different areas, and that gold difference is becoming more pronounced. When you put the whole team together, you know, a 3,000 gold lead doesn't mean as much, but when you are individual here, comparing 43,000 to 47,000 as a total, that's 4,000 gold, but percentage wise, it doesn't feel as much. When you split that up individually, the percentage wise jumps up and it gets scarier and scarier, because the actual amount of gold is just really difficult to fight individually. Yeah. So I really want to see them group up. I think they have the ability to make picks here. You have the Ari charm with the Everfrost. You have the Diana as well. That could be such a good fight starter for like we found two people, let's moonfall them in and just kill them and go from there.
Yeah, for sure. And not to mention, like, it's still really tough to fight this Vex, just because all the itemization for TP Black right now is mostly itemized towards armor, right? We're still itemizing to kind of fight the Wukong and the Ezreal. That, like, this Vex is now 9, 2, and 7 because they have less Magic Pen to go through. As now, LOS Monster might be in some trouble here. The Moonfall is going to come down, but it doesn't land onto anyone. Squizzy is going to be the first to fall here. The Ornhorn is coming across, but it's going to knock LOS Monster up into the air. So now two are down, 1 for 1, and it looks like they're just going to back away here. Good. Royalty has shown up. And let's see if we're looking for a re-engage here. Baubles does not have Tidal Wave. There's a lot of ultimates down. They're able to find a charm onto Wolfie here.
Bogus still has ult.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like the disengage here. I think that's exactly what you wanted. Squizzy, obviously, missing that Moonfall, not great, but the fact that they traded 1 for 1. When you're down this much, trading 1 for 1 is a net gain for you, because 300 gold when you're behind means a lot more than 300 gold when you're ahead. And they're getting it on the right people. Perry now in a little bit of trouble.
Now might be fine here. Perry, you'd already taken a whole bunch of damage. Press the attack has procced onto him, so you got to watch out here. Count Dooku now in some trouble. Vex is going to follow them way far back. Going to press that stopwatch. Going to probably live for a little bit longer, but not going to be able to do it this time. Crazy is actually doing a whole lot of damage, but can they close out the fight? Perry Yeet still surviving with just the skin of their teeth. And now Baubles is looking for something, but now they're cleaned up. They're all gone. That's going to be the ace. And this is going to be the second Hextech Drake going over to Mythic.
Yeah, what did we say at the end of that disengage there? Bogus still had the Shadow Surge ready to go, was ready to go in there and start a fight, and while everybody else was still waiting for a lot of their ultimate cooldowns, Bogus hit that ult, dove super deep into the backline, and finished off that fight strong. Mythic looking so good right now, as they will take the inhibitor and take another dragon for themselves, keeping that soul away. That is one of the win cons that we are looking for TP Black, but because they've fallen so far behind, they can't set up and take it. It's always the Vex coming in, ruining that day, and making it super difficult for them.
Yeah, for sure. Is now the next big objective on the map. Oh no, Dooku! Dooku finds it.
Stuff. Yeah, I think you do Barret here. You take that, you take the Vex down, and you expect a back after that dragon take on the bot side there. So there is nobody coming here. That's actually massive. They get a massive shutdown that is 800 gold on Tristana. They get the Baron as well, and now we see Grey Z. I don't think Monster wins this fight.
Yeah, LOS Monster is taking a whole lot of damage. Grey Z going to dash forward again, pick up 400 gold for themselves. And this is actually looking pretty good. They just got a couple big shutdowns. They saved some oh, excuse me, I'm brain farting real bad. They saved their turret down in the bot lane. They picked up Baron as well, and now they have objective bounties active. Together with a team that pushes actually really well.
Yeah. Yeah, one good fight could really turn this, I think. And the fact that they caught the Vex sleeping, they caught Wukong down on that bot side, everything kind of just being, it felt very lackadaisical. It felt like Mythic were playing like, hey, we've got this in the bag. We're winning so hard. We don't really need to cover our butts as we are walking away, as we are taking these bot lane towers. you still got a really fed Tristana. You've still got the ability for Ahri to fly in and start a fight off on a really good note. Moonfall is still gonna hurt if it is Diana catching people out. I think you still have to play this one smart. You have to have your areas warded, and if you're walking alone, that price can still be paid.
Yeah, for sure. And now that price is definitely still going to be paid. Remember, there's still Wormfall and Sacrifices on Count Dooku right now. That is an ornament right now. So that is a whole lot more damage than before. This is no longer a simple Kraken Slayer. Oh my god. Yeah, this is no longer a simple Kraken Slayer. This item does so much damage. And now they're continuing to catch up in this gold here. Right?
Well, it's no longer a Kraken Slayer at all. It's a Wormfall and Sacrifice.
Yep. Exactly. Yes. I thought I said it. If I didn't, I didn't.
You may have. I'm for clarity's sake, I'm running the stream at the same time, so I have a lot of things going on right now.
I thought the bot was running the stream.
Oh my god, I swear to god, I'm gonna fly to the West Coast and smack you for that. I swear to god.
God, that's one of my favorite bits from Joe Cat, the YouTuber who does a lot of like stuff for like Monster Hunter and Dungeons
Final
and Dragons.
Fantasy.
Hold on. Yeah, that's gonna be the Ornhorn coming across here.
Early zone, yes.
Go golden here. They might be able to get it. That's gonna be the title.
Big kill.
It's not gonna land onto anyone, but that's a huge kill onto Bogus here. 11-4 and 11 Vex is now gone, and they can continue to push here. They have the Baron buff. They have another wave coming. Like, this is gonna be a good time to do so. Count Dooku once again. Tristana is just going to annihilate these minions here.
Yeah, once again, Bogus just, it feels like Mythic are playing lackadaisical here. They're not really ready. Here comes Cyclone.
Yeah, Baubles is really low here. That's going to be Squizzy using the stopwatch here.
Oh,
They're
no.
still looking for a little bit more. Doku dives forward, looking for Wolfie. Not going to be able to find it. Let's see if they can try to turn around. They don't have they now have the reset on the jump. Can they dive onto Royalty? It doesn't look like they're going to look for it here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they're taking the Hextech gates out, whereas they're fine. They don't need... Oh, wait a minute. Gray Z. I look for a little bit more. They have to be careful. Vex is respawning in about 5 seconds. They can just throw out the ultimate in this kind of general direction and really land onto anyone. They have to be careful.
No, just leave it. They're leaving.
He doesn't have a whole lot of mana left. Here comes the Vex ultimate. It lands onto Parayeet by just the tip there, and Royalty is unstoppable. Gonna pick up a kill for themselves, but now Crazy has to continue running for their lives here because Vex is still on the hunt.
I got really scared there seeing Royalty come in. I'm gonna disagree with the call despite the fact that it worked, because you gained 300 gold from killing the Ornn. You risked the entire game for that. Royalty going down there would have been so bad because it would have been a possible turnaround, a possible go-in option to take that rest of the game there. But with this now advantage that has been pulled together here, we have a possible... Oh, Bobble's in trouble.
Oh, yeah, Bobbles, you don't want to go down here. We need that ultimate for that fight, but here comes Crazy in from the side. Might be able to find a kill here. Takes them really low, but does not finish them off. LOS Monster having to run away. Once again, whole lot of damage onto this character. Going to use that Buster Shot in order to create some space. Crazy is still alive. Here comes the ultimate from Parayeet. That's going to find a knock-up onto the Vex here. Squizzy now goes, but Bogus goes
Oh
golden.
My God, Tristana.
Now Bogus is taken incredibly low. That's going to be Count Dooku finding one. Can they find more? This is really important. This is the Dragon Soul on the line. They got to keep going. Parayeet is going to be snared up by Yuumi here, as let's see if the red team wants to re-enter here.
They don't have Smite.
Ooh, but
oh my God.
Z going down there. Count Dooku goes back in. Wolfie tries to fight, but can't quite do it. Hops on top of Ezreal. Gonna find another one. LOS Monster is looking for another one, but they're hopping around. They can't get it. He's too slippery. Count Dooku, quadra kill, saves the dragon, and they're just gonna go for the game.
What a fight back and forth there around that dragon. They kept going, and it went long enough for Tristana to show up, and Tristana's damage is absurd at this point in the game, and Dooku shows up, completely obliterates and takes Ezreal out of the fight. Didn't kill him, but took him out of the fight long enough for Dooku to be the only real DPS left in that fight, and Dooku from that point onwards was able to win. I was scared they were going to go back on the dragon because they didn't have Squizzy available, and Wolfie was ready to try and fly in and steal, but they turned back around. They went in, took out the rest of the fight, and Doku jumping around was impossible to catch. What a turnaround, and barely turning out in a gold lead at the end there for TP Black. And I feel like Mythic threw this win away. I feel like it was all theirs to be had. And at the end of the day, Mythic ends up just playing really lackadaisical as the game went on, and they got caught and punished for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was such a close match for a very long time. And, just having, watching Mythic,
Oh, we have lost Shinkari. Shinkari hit continue.
I
You
think I
hit
agree with
continue.
you that they were kind of like not respected. And then, oh,
You
oh,
can't
hold on,
leave the
hold on.
game. You can't leave the game until we're at break, buddy. The game freezes way too much.
Oh, oh, did I do something wrong? I don't understand what I did wrong.
Did you hit continue?
I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah, did you left the game? Unfortunately, that freezes Discord. So we have to wait until the game. We have to wait until break to do that.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, wonderful.
Oh,
Well then,
goodness.
we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the in picks and bans of game number 2 of TP Black versus Mythic Rising. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari, and I'm joined by Thousand Eyes. Here we are in game number 2. Up again, Mythic Rising versus TP Black. Now, we have seen a side swap here, so Mythic Rising is going to be on the blue side, while TP Black is going to be on the red. And we are getting into picks and bans of game number 2 here. Now, game number 1, Mythic Rising found themselves a lead after a shaky early game, but was able to find a huge lead towards the end game though. But once it came down to it, TP Black was able to close out the game, having a much stronger late game.
Yeah, we are having slight issues, it seems, with the draft right now. So, Draft Law does not want to play nice today, apparently.
Wonderful. Love to see it.
And I will remake. So, stall, Shinkari, go.
Yeah. So did you know that hermit crabs, when they have a shell that is either too large or too small for them, they will go and kind of leave their shell out, and go and hide, and then they'll wait for other hermit crabs to show up, and they'll have like a little trading meeting, and they'll have other hermit crabs will come, and they'll like trade their shells back and forth, and they'll line up the shells in like size order and they'll just sit there over and over again, just trading shells back and forth until everyone is in an appropriately sized shell. And I think that's really cute. It's like a really cool little animal fact that I know. It's very cool. Hermit crabs actually pretty smart. What else? Octopi, octopuses, and octopedes are all correct plural forms of the word octopus. So that's a fun little fact. Next time someone corrects you after you say the word octopuses, actually it's octopi, you can look them back in the fucking eye and just be like, actually both are correct.
Octopuses.
Yes, correct. Octopuses is correct.
I think we are getting ready here. I think we are good to go. I apparently did not update the draft law on screen, so
No, it's updated. It's good. It's going.
it's good. We're going.
It's
We're going.
good,
Okay,
it's
cool.
going. Yeah. Nocturne Shen and Mordekaiser banned from Mythic Rising, and then Viego Senna, and now a third ban. Yone is going to be banned away from TP Black.
Yeah, so nothing really changing here.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine. Both teams seem to have strong points and weak points. The issues were more around how they played. So I don't mind the band staying the same. But honestly, I think the biggest thing is just Mythic need to play smarter when they have that lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you see a lot of these teams just knowing much better to play, knowing how to play when they're ahead, and usually the issue is knowing how to play when you're behind. And Mythic here showing us that even while you're ahead, it's still a little tough to know, like, okay, like how confident should we play, right? How many risks can we take before the end here, right? So once again, we're seeing Mythic Rising locking in the Diana and the Yasuo. So this is already looking pretty good for Mythic Rising here.
Yeah, this is looking pretty solid here. The Diana Yasuo is obviously such a solid combo that has been being picked in competitive play and all elos because it's very easy to execute and it's very effective. Diana ults, you get the Yasuo to follow up, and then boom, it's a jungle mid combo that is extremely potent.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's also like instantaneous too. There's like not a whole lot of like follow up to that ultimate. It's like 1, 2, and then we're done, right? Like, right?
Yeah.
Like that is it's insanely effective. It's very good, and not to mention Diana is very good at using that ultimate as well. It also frees up your support to not really be something like an Alistar. But in this case, Nautilus, I still feel is very good regardless of the Yasuo Diana combo.
Yeah, so with that, we also have the Nautilus, which gives another opportunity for Yasuo. So it seems like there is a high focus for Mythic right now on that Yasuo to get into the fight, and they want to allow that to actually work out in any way, shape, or form. I think Nautilus also just a really good engage support, does pretty well against Renata because it is just push button. Renata's in trouble. She doesn't have great disengage options that aren't just using her ultimate and walking away. She can't dash away. She can't hop to a friend. She can't do any of that. So it's really difficult for her to make things happen when she's dealing with such a hard engage.
Yeah, I mean, this is it is Diana is very similar to Leona in that sense, where she's very binary. Once she's in, it's very hard for her to get out unless she kills her opponent, right? So this is going to be a time where, like, it's going to be an instance where you kind of have to have the Yasuo with you in that case, because once you press that ultimate, you're kind of assuring that everyone is staying inside the moonfall as well.
Yep.
So not only is Yasuo getting the damage, but Diana is also getting the damage, which means it's going to be easier for her to get out of the fight once she's already gone.
Absolutely, here as we are going to get through those bans. The Vex and the Wukong have both been banned away. I'm a little surprised about the Wukong. I don't think the Wukong was a major issue for TP Black. I think it did get annoying, but I think they handled it pretty well here. I'm more surprised that I'm less surprised about the Vex, obviously, because the Vex was disgusting and completely changed the game and gave Mythic Rising so much of their power that they did have going through most of that game. It was all about the fact that Bogus was starting fights and getting around the map and spreading that wealth as much as humanly possible. So taking Vex off is smart. The Malphite pickup here is good, specifically to keep it out of the hands of Mythic Rising. They don't want to give that top laner over to Mythic Rising and give another really easy to execute knockup for the Yasuo to follow up on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if anything, like, the Vex ban to me is surprising because Yasuo was locked in pretty early. Like, Yasuo isn't the most flexible character, especially with a Nautilus locked in. That's not usually a laner that you see work with Yasuo. So, like, seeing the Yasuo locked in, you can probably take a good bet that he's going mid lane, and that banning the Vex is probably not going to do too much for the rest of the draft, right? Maybe banning an 80 carry at that stage might have been better, but we're getting into what ifs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With this kind of thing.
Yeah, so now we're finally seeing the full combo put together. The Kennen gives another follow-up, another setup here. There's so much that Mythic Rising have put together that is just a wombo combo style of team composition that I don't think TP Black really want to fight against here. We're going to be just seeing a little bit more, I think, pick and lane control that is going to be going over to TP Black. They have a really strong mid lane against that Yasuo in the early game. Lissandra loves those melee matchups because she can always get her W off. She can always get her ultimate off. And Volibear is a really solid early game jungler to be able to get that damage down. So now the question becomes, can TP Black get a solid enough advantage in the mid game and pick game where they are not trying to take those fights that Mythic Rising won't be able to actually make things work? Mythic Rising, if they are full 5v5ing front to back, TP Black, I think, are going to lose every single fight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they definitely have to be careful here. There's a whole lot of CC that Mythic Rising has lined up here. They've definitely created a wombo combo here. And between, LOS Monster and Royalty, and between Wolfie and Bogus, there's a lot of 2 to 3 people combinations, that are going to be really deadly for TP Black. Like you said, they really need to keep their eyes open. They really need to kind of play responsive, even though they're playing Malphite, they're playing Volibear, they're playing even the Tristana can be this as well with Count Dooku the way he played previously. They kind of have to play boring. Like, you gotta be boring this time around, and you're not gonna like it. And sometimes you just have to wait for the Kennen to go in, put him in a block of ice, and just walk away as best you can.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing, I think, for TP Black is they need to full disengage when these ultimates come out and then re-engage while the ultimates are on cooldown. Look at how much power is in the ultimates of Mythic Rising and how much they lose when those ultimates are not available. Diana becomes so much less of a champion. Kennen becomes almost really non-existent as a champion in team fights without that ultimate. There's so many power points in Mythic Rising's R buttons that when those are not available, TP Black are going to be stronger. If there's no engage opportunities, if there's no knockups from Mythic Rising, then they're not going to get that Yasuo in there. Then you have the engage opportunity from Malphite. You have Tristana's damage and how much work Count Dooku did in that last game. It's scary. Tristana could pop off really hard as long as it is not just, all right, we're going to bash our heads together at objectives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my problem with this team composition here is that Mythic Rising, once again, is looking at more of a mid-game kind of team, right? Yasuo is good to early to mid-game, starts to fall off as the game goes much, much later, right? And Tristana, once again, another champion that can go later than a lot of the champions that Mythic Rising have drafted here. But you know, I think the big thing for me is that without Ornn on the team, it kind of locks TP Black to kind of playing the game faster. And if they fall behind against Mythic Rising in this kind of mid game here, I don't really see how they can come back outside of, you know, Mythic Rising playing sloppy again.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be a lot harder to do so. It's going to be a lot more difficult for them. And they're going to have to basically say, like, all right, we can't take objective fights. We can't fight around specific types of fights. What we need to do then is ward, find out where people are rotating, and do the same thing that they did last time. Because remember that it was the fact that they caught the Vex out, they caught everybody out in different scenarios where they weren't fully fighting, and they were the ones pressing the issue. That is where TP Black succeeded, and that's where I think they will continue to succeed in this game, especially if they fall behind. If they get ahead enough, there is a possibility they could take 5v5 fights, but it's going to be off the back of making picks and catching people in rotations. That's where the strengths are going to lie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it once again, it's going to be very, very tough if TP Black has a similar game like they did in the last game, right? We kind of have to question, like, was it TP Black playing well that got them to win, or was it Mythic Rising fumbling that gave TP Black an opportunity to win? However, we're going to see how this game plays out in just a little bit. We're going to take just a break, just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game number 2 of Mythic Rising versus TP Black. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and here we are on the Rift. Game number 2 of Mythic Rising on the blue side versus TP Black on the red. We are looking at maybe, perhaps, a very early invade here, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do so. They're just going to put down a ward and be able to back away. That should give them vision on the blue buff there, but will give vision on where these folks are just roaming around for the red team here as well. But Thousand, are you ready?
I am ready to go, as we do see a little bit, yeah, like you mentioned, the early warding, defensive warding being put down mostly by TP Black. And I like this. I like the fact that they are making sure that it is not going to be clear where the Volibear is going, because that is their ace in the hole right now. The Diana will not gank as well as Volibear, and Volibear wants to be able to make some pressure early game and try and snowball that into something a little bit better so these team fights don't go terribly down the line.
Yeah, for sure. Is now we have this going to have a pretty tough time for this Tristana in these first early levels here. Nautilus's level 1 and level 2 is insane, and I'm not sure it can be matched very well by Renata Glass there. So we're going to have to keep our eyes down in this bottom lane here. As I do want to point out, we do have a bit of synergy between Lysandra and Malphite, both sporting Darkstar. So cool.
Yeah, God, I don't ever know what to say when people are like, oh man, they have matching skins. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. They look similar, that's for sure. Like, man, what a game fact that is.
Yeah, I mean that's no, that's fair. I mean that's pretty. I don't know. It's just a cute little tidbit. It's nothing like super important. It's just like ooh.
Yeah, and then I'm like, yeah. So about the game, just completely ignore you. But yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Even in this bot lane, Samira does have ways to beat Tristana. The biggest thing is timing that the explosive bomb there from the Tristana and getting that wind wall down. Royalty can block so much of Tristana's damage if that wind wall hits at the right time.
Ooh, this is the engagement you're looking for. Count Dooku here is going to be in some trouble. Flashes away. Bobble's taken incredibly low. Exhaust is going to come down as well. Wolfie looking for the last bit of damage there, but it is taken incredibly low. They're going to be able to back away and tell the tale here and pick up first blood for themselves as well. Mythic putting themselves on the scoreboard 3 minutes on.
Yeah, it's a little scary to hover around that top side there. You give the opportunity for the early gank, and that's really frustrating too, because it is the Diana that makes the first gank happen, not what you wanted to see. Top lane looking like we might have something. Hearts showing himself.
Yeah, Monster in some trouble here. Heart coming through here. Might be able to find something more here. Press the attack has been hit, but that's a great micro stun from Monster there off the Kennen passive. Is going to be able to let them live to tell the tale. Going to grab that flash, though, but no kill just yet.
Yeah, and this is kind of why I was a little... I didn't get the chance to mention it. Monster now in trouble again, though.
Yeah, Heart's going to be able to pick up a really quick kill there. Lysandra's coming up from the mid lane here. The Claw's coming in. They're going to throw down the snare and pick up a second kill. Bogus is in some trouble because that Ghost is about to pop. Okay, they're going to be able to dodge the damage, pick up the kill on the Volibear here. Now Bogus is going to try to dash through as best they can. They don't have that wind wall available. Parry Yeet's still looking for that last bit of damage, but they keep going outside of vision. Gonna be able to grab it. The clap is good. Parry Yeet picks up a kill. It's 3 kills for TP Black early on, and it's divided out here 1-1 and 1 for the top half of the map here. Really good turnaround. Gonna be able to give them just an teensy bit of a goal lead.
Yeah, that felt like LOS Monster felt he had to be in the fight because it was starting and didn't want to leave his teammates behind, but you've got to do so when you don't have that level of health to actually engage on that. Monster was just going to get blown up anytime he went in on that, and we did see that happen, immediately take it down, and that made it a 2v3 from then on. Grazy showed up and then immediately flashed in to take out Wolfie, making sure that it was a very hard focus on the right members. So really good calls from TPB to be able to actually focus on the right people. What a hook!
Yeah, that hook on the Count Dooku was very good, forcing the flash out of them as well, spending the ignite. But this is still really close down the spot lane. Count Dooku can't play as greedy as they did before. There's a Nautilus on the enemy team.
Yeah, Maniac looking real good so far on this Nautilus. But with that extra pressure on that bot side, the wave being pushed in, with the Lissandra doing well in the mid lane, gave the opportunity to sneak away that dragon by heart. They're going to be able to get those stacks early once again. TP Black first on these objectives, and that is what gave them the lead last time around. So they're sticking with what they're good at. They're sticking with their strengths. And I'm very glad to see that, as bot lane looking like it might get a little spicy here. Diana showing up and Lissandra on the way.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of icons down there. There's the Hex Flash. Maniac
Heart's here as well.
Going to be able to find it. Bobbles comes in, going to be taking a pretty low here, but that Thunderstorm is going to do a whole lot of damage from Heart. Bobbles looking for a little bit more, but can't quite find it. Doku trying to fight here. Wolfie getting incredibly low, but that's going to be the second fight here. The second kill there, going over to Volibear. 2015 Heart coming through. The actual jungler for TP Black going to be able to put themselves 3-1-2 on the board so far.
TP Black reading Mythic like a book there to have the jungler and the mid laner ready for that fight. Royalty went in and they went in and got Bobbles, but it took so long that everybody was stuck in that fight. There was no wind wall from Royalty to actually block any more damage, and then you end up losing the Nautilus in response as well. So really good turnaround, and TPB starting off this game really strong.
Yeah, what kind of book do you think Mythic is? You said you read them like a book. What kind of book do you think they are?
I don't know. I don't read books.
You don't read books. What do you think? What about Dante's Inferno? That's like a mythic book where someone rises out of hell.
Sure. I don't know. Yeah, man, look,
you and I both come from a community.
You and I both come from a community that genuinely says screw off to books.
Yeah, they say F books.
They say F books. That is a very strong sentiment in the community that we became friends in. So I am confused why you believe I think I know any books.
Okay, well, up in the top lane here, Parayeet is going to be able to find the 1-2 punch kill on the LOS monster here. Look, I'm still going to go on here about Dante's Inferno. I think Dante's Inferno is the book that Mythic Rising was. And if you're going to read Dante's Inferno, hats off. That's a classic. I don't know if it's good. I haven't read it. I just know what happens. Gray Z here, going to put themselves inside the ultimate here as Bogus and Wolfie still looking for the fight onto Lissandra here.
Nice.
They're not going to be able to get away. There's the combo 1-2 punch. Going to be able to give themselves the kills down in the bot lane here. Maniac is still looking for a little bit more to count. Doku's going to be able to back away. As now 2015 Heart is looking to fight, but this is still a 1v2 here. They can't quite stay here as long as they'd like. They might force Bogus to back away from the turret here.
Yeah, so that was a really nice gank in the mid lane to be able to get Grazy down, and I think exactly what we wanted to see. Wolfie and Bogus using that coordination, using those ultimates together, and getting the kill off of that. As now we also see Maniac doing so well on this Nautilus, I say, as he hooks a minion. But overall, like the amount of really good hooks that have forced cleanses out of Doku have been kind of scary, honestly. It makes me worry a little bit as we go deeper into this game. If those hooks are hitting onto crucial targets later on, that's a problem.
Yeah, for sure. Is now Count Doku in a little bit of trouble here. Hook comes out but doesn't land. Looks like they might be just trying a little bit too hard. If you take a look at the scoreboard down to the bottom there, you'll notice that Volibear did pick up the Rift Herald, so that is going to be something to keep our eyes on as this kind of next few minutes progress. Might be coming down for Dragon specifically to take them away from that, as that is spawning in the next minute here. So lots of stuff on the map here to currently take a look at and make sure that we are still, able to do so.
Yeah, things have slowed down just a little bit, given the opportunity, I think, for us to get to those mid-game team fights where Mythic Rising are going to be really strong. So I want to see the point where we are going to have these top laners show up for fights. I think that's going to be a big difference, because you have the opportunity for Wolfie to hit an ult, have Kennen over top of that, and that just gives Bogus and Royalty free reign to fly in, get their ultimates down as well, and do so much AoE damage that it's gonna be hard to come back from. Until then, though, we're still getting those skirmishes, and we've seen how strong this Volibear can do that, work with that Lissandra as well. Doku, we haven't seen this game, but we've seen in the past as well on this Tristana.
Yeah, Bogus here might be caught out. The Thunderstorm is coming down here. Bogus is taken incredibly low. That's going to be the Volley Bear ultimate coming across. Grazy trying to get away here. Wolfie's still looking for the kill. Going to be able to find it here, but now they're stuck between a bear and a hard place. 2015 Heart is going to go back in. Look at so much damage on a Royalty there, but they do have the ultimate available. There's the Smoking Sexy style over the wall here, but still not going to be able to do so, as now the re-engage from the red team is coming through. Bogus is going to have that wind wall up one more time, but the bomb is going to explode here. Shut down for Count Dooku. Going to be able to go 2 for 1 as they start up the dragon.
Yeah, so it started off nicely. They got Gray Z, but fortunately, that was kind of all they had left there with Wolfie and Bogus using their ults on just a couple of people. That gave Dooku the opportunity to walk up, do some damage, and kind of be free to walk up and just do whatever he wants at that point. We do see now Perry Yeet down on the spot side, ult ready.
Yeah, Count Dooku's wasting no time going right in here. Royalty gonna to slow down the damage just a little bit as Perry Yeet is gonna be the one underneath the turret, just securing that one as Bubbles throws out a handshake just a little too late. But you know what? They get the kill anyway, so you can't fault them for his 2015 Heart. Looking for something here. Wolfie taking a bit of damage, but Bogus is the one that's going in. Bogus is the one that wants to fight. Thunderstorm comes down. That's going to be the last breath coming across. That's going to be the root and the stun, but it can't stop Yasuo. He's still looking for more. Doesn't have the ultimate available, but going to take the one kill and back away.
I mean, Bogus looking good. Obviously, we knew that the Yone was really good as we've seen it banned every time, and that is the main champ. But Bogus also looking really good on the Yasuo as well, just solo killing Grazy in front of the enemy jungler. Yep. that is a pretty solid move to have there. And Bogus 3-2-1. I think if there is one person getting most of the gold on this team, it is, you want it to be Bogus or Royalty, because either one of those two can just completely carry from there.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a tough match if excuse me, that pressure black doesn't make it out of this mid game. We've talked about like how strong this team can be in the mid game here. If they're able to get a lead and carry it, then they're going to be the ones closing out this game here and taking us to a game 3, right? This mid game is going to be very important once we start seeing the wombo combos come online. Now, granted, you know, some of our first team fights here, red team, TP Black has come out on top, but these teams are still so even. Only 800 gold separates these two. That's not really nothing to write home about at 13 minutes in the game.
Absolutely here. But I think the big scary thing too is, like, while there is 9 kills, a lot of that is on the Volibear and the Malphite. And while that's going to be good for right now, I think that's going to quickly become a problem.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be the unstoppable force there, but doesn't quite have the damage to finish off LOS Monster. I wonder if he'll keep chasing for it, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it here. Is Grazy.
Wolfie's here.
The wall here. Great. Oh, no. Okay, Doku's able to get away, which means they might be able to survive this fight and re-enter. Count Dooku here, going to use the Buster Shot to bash away Royalty as 1, 2, 3 members fall, all able to turn it around on a dime. How incredible was that from TP Black here? Is now Perry Yeet in some trouble. LOS Monster looking for the fight up in the top lane, is able to land the second shuriken. They're going to have to get real close. They want to land that stun. There it is. 1, 2,
oh
shut
no
down.
That's not good there. Heart, actually, they really want that bot lane tower. They are not going to get it. And unfortunately, first tower actually goes over to Mythic here, as TP Black, for once in their lives, do not get a first objective here. So finally we see Mythic get something, and yeah, the bot lane fight started off really good by Grazy to get in there, get that ultimate down, and get the burst damage. From then on, while the turnaround was solid, the damage and the immediate cleanse and jump away from Dooku meant that they could not kill Tristana. She was going to do enough damage now that she has this Kraken, and Royalty with only that Immortal Shield Bow is not going to do enough just yet to be able to 1v5.
Yeah, for sure. As now, you know, this is now getting to territory where, you know, this gold lead is going to start to matter. You know, we're taking a look at 1,000 gold between these two teams. It's very narrowly edging itself out into an actual gold lead here. So we need to pay attention to this gold and how folks are going to be farming and how these fights are going to play out around these neutral objectives, because it's going to be about this gold. It's going to be, once again, we're hyping up this mid game because both of these folks are two 5v5 team fighting comps. And, you know, we're going to see instances like this one a whole lot. Parry yeet onto Wolfie here, forcing the flash. That's going to be the unstoppable force. Here comes 2015 hard over the wall. Wolfie can't get away from this time, and Count Dooku is on a killing spree.
All right, we have the Tristana fed once more. And I like this. I was concerned when we saw the kills on the Volibear. I wanted to see that spread around a little bit more. Seems like now we're finally getting Dooku some more gold, and Tristana will get scary. Although with the Rift Herald being taken now, they've kind of overforced their hand on that top side, and mid lane tower taking a lot of damage. Bogus and Royalty will back away, but now here comes Crazy.
Yeah, there's the claw coming through here. Going to be able to block up some of the ranged damage here.
Oh my god, no!
Last one is going to knock them away, but Bogus is now in some trouble here. Going to be bashed against the wall. Last Breath is going to go on top of Count Dooku here, but it's not going to be able to stop them this time. That's the depth charge coming across on the parry yeet here, but now they're looking for more. Maniac forced to flash away, but they're still looking for it. That's going to be the slow, giving them enough time. The chilling smite as well. Can they land the stun? Claw comes out. They find another. They're losing a turret in the top lane, but they get 2 kills, and now they get to collapse onto the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, now they get their soul point once again, and it will be TP Black winning fights as they have been here. Just remember,
wait a minute.
We have not. No, I don't. Wolfie's not getting in. No way. There's no way it's happening. But remember, we have not seen a full 5v5 yet.
Yeah.
Like, every fight that has been happening has been because TV Black is catching people out and making the moves first. You mentioned about, like, playing reactively. I agree when the team that is playing is a full 5v5 wombo combo is pushing the issue. But if you're the ones in the lead, if you're ahead, you need to keep your foot on the pedal and you need to keep the pressure on. And we have seen that happen over and over again. We saw TB Black just take a kill up on the top side. They were starting to lose towers in the mid lane, so they went over. But Gray Z was on the bot and said, no, you know what? Let's collapse on this, because you're going to come from that top side. You're going to push them down towards the bot side, and they're going to try and leave through that jungle. I can show up, catch somebody in a wrong spot, and now we might be seeing Bobbles dead.
Yeah, Bobbles nowhere to go. Going to be the sacrificial lamb. Just keep their AD carry alive, but you know, it's definitely not that great. Luckily for TP Black here, there's not really a whole lot of objectives to be grabbing off of that kill here. They can't really translate that into anything. So this is still some good news for Mythic, even though they lost their support there.
Absolutely here. And now I think what is nice is that does kind of take away some of the pressure, right? There's a little bit of a lull now as they're going to be waiting for Bobbles to get back. The waves get reset a little bit. The timers are getting a little bit off. And that pressure that has been pushed consistently here from TP Black has to back away. And now we are going to see Mythic get a little bit more comfortable. And maybe now this is where we can start to see the 5v5s coming. But now here comes the fight mid.
Yeah, they're looking for Maniac here. Taken incredibly low, going to be forced back towards the Tristana here. And they pick up an easy kill here. Problem is, this is the same thing as Bobbles dying. They can't really turn this into anything, right? It might force some folks to stay in the mid lane and give Parry Yeet some time to kind of shove this top wave, but that's really about it.
Well, but the thing is, there's a difference, right? Because if you are the 5v5 wombo combo team and you take one person out, but the rest of those enemy teammates are just spread apart, you can't really make much out of it because you're a wombo combo team. You want to all in. Bogus, what are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, Bogus a little far forward looking for the chickens. Went to KFC just before they closed, and he is going to go down. They were all sold out. Chicken sandwiches. Parry Yeet looking for the found out Wolfie here. Maniac coming in from the side as well. Moonfall is going to do a bit of damage, but Parry Yeet is just looks like he's keeping him there for a bit. Flash over the wall. A great handshake. Going to be able to give them just a little bit more space. Parry Yeet, do not go for those green plants. No. Okay, Parry Yeet's going to be taken down here. Use that unstoppable force to just give a little bit more time. Crazy coming in from the side. The claw comes down, but the snare is just too soon. But they are still able to find the kill on a cannon. They're still looking for Maniac here. That's going to be the Shurelya's battle song popped. Crazy still looking for more. There's a little bit of movement speed for them as well. That is going to be Maniac going down. Good kill goes over to Gray Z, and they put more gold into their pockets. Are they going for Baron?
Oh, yeah. They absolutely are. They know that they have this topside clear out, and they're forcing a fight, right? Because you have you have the Volibear who will be able to tank it really well. You know that you've taken out 2. You're forcing 3 people to fight against you right now, and you know that you're gonna have that Grazy ultimate. You have Heart's ultimate as well. There's so much that can be gained here, and at the worst, you are forcing a 3v4 in your favor. So that is going to be the Baron picked up. And yeah, I mean, the big thing to remember from that is, did you, like, we saw Yasuo immediately get picked and die. Compare that to Parry getting picked. I know that that is a tank versus a very squishy kind of assassiny bruisery kind of person, but look at the difference of how quickly the kill came onto the Yasuo versus how long it took to try and do something about Parry. And then Parry got out anyway. They kept chasing. Sure, they got the kill at the end of the day, but it gave time for TPB to come in and clean up the fight from that point because so many resources were burned. They're playing into TP Black's team fight style, and that's not what they want to do. They need to change the game. They need to play to what their strengths are, not to what their opponent is trying to make them do.
Yeah, for sure. Is now, this might be another instance of it, as now Gray Z here might be caught out. Wolfie goes in here, but they're going to be able to stun them up and take them down. That's one member down to this Wombo combo. Maniac is going to be the next maybe to fall, as that's going to be the double kill for Gray Z here. Royalty is going to be next as the tower has been turned off. Bogus is looking for an intro into this fight. The handshake comes across, but is not going to land on a monster just yet. Doku's pretty low here, but we'll have to see if that's taken down. It's not going to happen this time, and it's 4 for nothing. And now they're marching their way over to the Cloud Soul.
This is the epitome of what I've been saying about Mythic this entire game. They're fighting one at a time. Why is Diana going in? You don't have the rest of your team. You're not an assassin right now. You're not going to 1v5. You need your teammates, and your entire team composition is predicated on the idea of having that extra teammate help, and you're fighting without them. I don't get what the engage here is for. And you saw the result. You saw the fact that Parry could just ult freely onto somebody just in the area after they took down Wolfie, and the rest of the team panics, tries to help. At some point, when you are playing this style of team composition, you back out. You just say, all right, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you went in and died. We don't want to give more kills. Don't keep fighting there. Don't keep going after that. It's so just goofy to do. I don't understand what the thought process is around it.
Right. It's like a sunken cost fallacy where you've already lost something and you're trying to make it so that you're trying to go into a bad situation, trying to get something from nothing. But because your team is a wombo combo and kind of requires you to, that was kind of funny. Because your team kind of requires you to have this kind of full team setup in order to execute on your idea, you're putting yourself on not only a man disadvantage, but now a team comp disadvantage as well. As now this might be the advantageous they're looking for. As Count Doku is caught out here, the depth charge is going to come across, knocked into the air, but Bogus is still chasing here.
Leave.
That's going to be the zombie moment for this, just a little bit longer. Oh, we have a TP. They're looking to fight. We just talked about the sunken cost fallacy, but they're going to immediately put themselves into the ice here as they're looking for Monster. Not going to be able to do it on the backside here. 2015 Hard is looking for more as that's the handshake coming across. They're able to find one. This is a 4v5. They're still coming out on top. Bobbles is going to be the next to find the next kill here. Maniac is now incredibly low. They've got nowhere to go. Wolfie is now the next target here. He's taken low. That's nothing HP left. He's going to hold on for the shields as much as he can, but Gray Z comes out on top as Monster runs for their life. They're not able to live even in a 4v5 against the monster of TP Black.
We saw them get the kill on Count Dooku and the flash forward from Bogus to confirm that. It just had to be the disengage from that point. You burned your Moonfall. You burned the Yasuo flash. You want to just get out of there after that point. You got your important kill. Stop trying to fight from that point. I don't think you win the 4v5 even afterwards.
Yeah, now Monster's in some trouble. Ooh, this might be a neat interaction here, but Grazy is going to go down to that zombie node here now, as now Parayeet and Bobbles have to dodge around
Goku's
Royalty,
here.
and he's doing negative damage to Parayeet here. Now here comes Count Doku in from the side here, is going to be able to get some free auto attacks here before finally getting dove on top of. That's going to be the last breath, taking them incredibly low. They're finally going to go down, but it's still Parayeet and Bobbles versus Bogus and Monster here. They're able to get outside of the slicing maelstrom, but take a look at the bottom lane here. 2015 Heart is shoving in the waves. They got 2 for 2, but they lost a bot lane turret because of it.
Yeah, Bogus won them that fight at the end there. They continued going after they got Gray Z, and they caught Doku with that Q on the Yasuo to get the knockup, get Bogus into that fight, and continue on from there. I saw Doku come in. I thought it was going to go really poorly, but the ultimates, while they weren't exactly put together and used extremely well as a coordination thing, they still got them all off, and they got them all off efficiently.
All right, 2015 Heart here might have found out Bogus here. I don't think Yasuo has anywhere to go. That press the attack is very good. Here comes Bobbles as well. That's going to be the knockup, but they're not going to use the last breath this time. They get the flow shield, but that is huge. 45 seconds down on a main carry on your team, and the payoff for your wombo combo, that is huge, especially now that Maniac is now going to be the next target here, as they're going to go down. Count Doku is going to be the one picking up that kill there, as now they're looking to push for more. They're down 2. The claw comes out. That's going to be the frozen tomb right there, as Wolfie is going to find the moonfall there, but it's not going to do enough damage. They found a third. Is this pain train going to continue? Unstoppable force. There's the slam, the stun from Volley Bear. Bobbles comes across. That's going to be the snare. 2015 Heart is legendary. The 4th goes down, and now the only member left to defend the Nexus is Royalty, but it looks like they might have just conceded the game here. They're alive. Bogus is here. It's time to defend the Nexus with your lives. Knocked into the team. They're going to be able to find Royal, as now they go forward. Bogus is going to knock into the air, but they can't quite get it. Double kill for Count Doku here. Maniac is going to be the last to fall. It's an ace. TP Black are your winners of this evening. Let's go!
TP Black looking so much better this time around, as they do pull out the win 2-0. And that's 2 games in a row now that Mythic Rising have lost 0-2, and what I would say pretty rough fashion here. I'm frustrated because there was such a good composition built. They just had to get to that mid game where they had their full team, and they didn't really allow that to happen. They started getting picked off, and they said, all right, we're behind. We have to go for picks now. And that's like, you don't need to at that point. And there was a certain point in the game where they were behind, and they still could have fought 5v5 and won the fights just because of how strong their composition was. They never opted into that. We saw so many times people just going in when they were alone saying, all right, we got to make picks. We got to make that happen, when that's what the other team is doing. That's what they're good at.
Yeah.
You are good at 5v5 team fights, and there was never at any point in that game a place where we saw them actually actively try to make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there were a lot of times where they caught out maybe individual members, but there were so many times where Mythic Rising was just a 5v5 wombo combo team comp, just kind of by themselves in random places. Now, I get you can't have everyone in one place and A-ramming it mid all the time, right? But, you know, Kennen has TP, didn't really use it. I didn't see a whole lot of TPs from Kennen later on. We saw that play from Wolfie, who kind of dove into that fight around the chickens there, it's just like, it seems like they had the composition, but they didn't have the coordination from the team to kind of execute on the idea that they kind of put together here.
What it felt like to me was panic, because there was so much happening so quickly that they said that I think, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this from solo queue games of, we're behind, I need to be the hero. We need to make hero plays. When the hero play is playing together, it's playing to your win condition. You need to be able to reel that in, recognize I am part of a cog in a machine right now, and we have to make that machine move. Otherwise, we are just going to continue to bleed out. There was no effort to make that happen, and that's why I'm frustrated watching this. I think credit where it is due. We did see TP Black play this composition extremely well. The Volibear got massive. They got
Yeah.
Doku ahead once again. And I think Grazy set up so many great plays with these flanks. And it was really, really good stuff. But it just felt a little bit like it was panic set in very quickly for Mythic, and they didn't know what to do at that point.
Yeah, it's really tough to play from that position, and it. I think we could harp on it a little too, maybe a little too much, but I think Mythic Rising still had like some really good ideas when they drafted their team composition.
Yes.
It just comes down to the communication, and the execution of that team composition. Because on paper, this composition is great, and then when it came down to playing it, I think I agree that maybe nerve set in, maybe panic set in, and then after that, like decision making started getting worse and worse. So, you know, it you win some, you lose some. Once again, this was still a very very good play game by Mythic Rising. I think their game one was a little bit better than their game two, but still, I don't want to harp on it too much. We're going to call it a night. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, press that follow button. We go live nearly every single day for y'all to play to cast some League of Legends. And if you it really helps us out. And if you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button. It's going to help us keep the lights on here at Style Esports. But for myself, the entire live broadcast crew, Thousand Eyes, my co-caster for this evening, and Intibot, our producer for this evening, and everyone here at Style Esports, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you at the next match. Bye bye.